Besides being two billionaires who built their fortunes in the technology industry, Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates are two powerful magnates who have reached a level of financial success unimaginable for most people. Thanks to this, today they have plenty of money to buy whatever they want, which is why they live in incredible mansions, drive high-end cars, and even travel in extremely modern private jets. But have you ever stopped to think about which of these entrepreneurs has the most luxurious life? In today's video, you'll watch a fierce battle between Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. Both billionaires own multi-million-dollar properties, but who has the most impressive home to live in? Bill Gates, for example, lives in his famous property known as Xanadu 2.0. The billionaire's mansion is located in Medina, Washington state. And while there isn't as much information about the mansion, we do know that it is gigantic, being over 65,000 square feet and having taken over 7 years just to be completed. Being built out of wood, the highest quality trees were used, such as pine trees that were over 500 years old. But besides being a mansion with a strong presence of nature, because it belongs to the founder of Microsoft, naturally the property has a lot of technology, being completely automated with sensors that alternate lighting and temperature at any given place of the house. To get an idea, it is estimated that more than 100 electricians worked on its construction, so you can imagine just how technological it is inside, can't you? And, being a bookworm, Gates owns an incredible library that features the world's most exclusive books, an example being the manuscripts of Leonardo da Vinci's, something that cost nearly $31 million. And to build this amazing mansion, Bill Gates had to invest a real fortune. According to some sources, he spent about $63 million on it. However, according to estimates of the real estate market, the mansion's current value is at $127 million. Jeff Bezos, in turn, owns one of the most expensive properties in Beverly Hills, California. The property was built in 1937 by Jack L. Warner, co-founder of the film and entertainment production company Warner Brothers. There are 350,000 square feet of total area and 13,000 square feet of built area, counting with a massive golf course, a swimming pool complex, tennis court, 2 guest houses, several gardens, and open spaces. A few old illustrations of the interior of the property show classic Georgian architecture, which may have been modified or remodeled by Bezos. Being a globally known businessman, Jeff prefers to keep his life more private, not showing too much of his intimacy, and therefore, there are not many details of his new mansion in the media. What is known is that he paid the small price of $165 million for it, and because he owns a more valuable property, Jeff Bezos wins this round. Point for him. Both magnates also invest fortunes in luxury items, but which one has the most extravagant spending? Bill Gates, for example, has already been spotted getting into a Ford Focus, a simple car, but one that can meet the billionaire's transportation needs. The price of the vehicle revolves around $25,000. Raising the price, he once owned a 1979 Porsche 911. This vehicle of Bill Gates was auctioned off in 2012 for about $80,000. Bill also once owned a Ferrari 348, an older Ferrari model, but one that can still be found going for about $150,000. These days, he prefers less polluting cars, which is why he owns a Porsche Taycan, an all-electric vehicle that still manages to be a powerful sports car. To have an idea of its speed, it can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in unbelievable 3 seconds, and it's no wonder that the most recent and complete models can cost around $200,000. But the most expensive car Bill Gates ever owned was probably a Porsche 959 Sports, a car from 1980 that, at its launch, was considered one of best cars around. And because it is a rare and exclusive vehicle, its price can reach over $1 million. Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, likes to spend his money in very unusual ways. One of Bezos' most unusual investments is the construction of a real monument that will last for years on Earth. It's a giant 500-foot mechanical clock, which is being programmed to run for 10,000 years, located on a mountain in the Sierra Diablo Range in Texas, United States. Dubbed the Clock of the Long Now, or the 10,000 Years Clock, the project is being programmed to strike the gong once a year, the century hand to advance once every 100 years, and the cuckoo to appear at the milestone every 1,000 years. The site will in the future be open for tourists and visitors, although it still has no deadline for completion. After all, it is quite a complex idea. Some sources claim that the 10,000-year clock has taken from the pocket of Jeff Bezos about $42 million. And since they have very different spending habits, let's consider this round a tie. Point for both. To travel in comfort and safety, both businessmen use private aircraft, but who owns the most expensive private jet? Bill Gates, for example, owns a Bombardier BD-700 Global Express, a large, sophisticated, high-performance aircraft with intercontinental range, meaning it's capable of traveling to different continents without the need to stop for fuel. The interior of the aircraft can house up to 18 people in a super comfortable and luxurious way, and can be compared to a 5-star hotel, but in the skies. And for those who want to have the same jet, you must get ready to invest a real fortune. It is estimated that this incredible aircraft costs about $40 million. Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, owns a Gulfstream G650ER, an executive jet with intercontinental range, being able to travel anywhere on the globe without stopovers. This aircraft is divided into up to 7 rooms, and those are the super technological and modern cabin, a complete and well-equipped galley with built-in appliances, ideal for chefs to prepare good meals for the crew, a cabin with 4 seats for a comfortable flight, the medium-sized cabin with a sofa and TV to relax watching a movie, the conference area with a table for meetings and also for meals, the VIP cabin with a sofa that turns into a bed for a peaceful night's sleep, and a complete bathroom. The jet is completely modular and can have the areas changed to meet the demand of the owner. Depending on the chosen layout, it can comfortably carry up to 19 passengers. No wonder that, to obtain an aircraft of this model, you have to pay a real fortune, something estimated at $65 million. Since Jeff Bezos has a more luxurious jet, he wins this round. Both billionaires have lived in many places throughout their careers, but which one has the most valuable real estate portfolio? Starting with Bill Gates. He once owned, for example, an almost 9,500 square foot mansion, which has a very sophisticated classical architecture. The property is located in the region of Hobe Sound, in the state of Florida, and is immersed in nature, being near a lake and surrounded by woods. And according to some sources, Bill Gates sold the house in 2018 for about $4 million. Moving up the price further, he also owns a huge 13,500 square foot home in Indian Wells, California. It is known that he acquired the property in 1999, paying about $12,500,000 for it. As early as 2013, he purchased a mansion in the luxury Mallet Hill Court condominium in Wellington, Florida. And he liked the place so much, he decided to buy another, even more luxurious, neighboring mansion in 2016. The mansion's interiors are very comfortable, having large rooms and spaces, besides having a beautiful outdoor area, something very common in country houses like these. And to acquire the 2 properties, Bill Gates paid more than $22 million. However, in 2020, the billionaire decided to invest in a spectacular beach house located north of San Diego in Del Mar, California. With contemporary architecture, this seaside masterpiece was designed by super-renowned architects, and it's no wonder that the house is considered one of the most beautiful in the city. The property's interior is 5,800 square feet and is divided into 6 luxurious bedrooms. And, like every beach mansion, there is an outdoor area with lots of armchairs and a beautiful sea view, definitely the perfect place to throw parties. And according to media reports, in order to acquire this property, Bill Gates had to cash out no less than $43 million. And all of this real estate of Bill Gates are just what's reported, as he is speculated to be one of the largest farmland investors in the United States. Jeff Bezos, meanwhile, owns, for example, the largest mansion in Washington, D.C., having purchased 2 adjacent properties that add up to 360,000 square feet in total area and 27,000 square feet of floor space. The structure, formerly a textile museum, was built in 1990 and underwent major renovations, having a configuration of 5 rooms, 3 kitchens, 2 libraries, 2 elevators, 2 gymnastics rooms, 25 bathrooms, and 11 bedrooms. And the big boss from Amazon paid on this property $23 million, plus $12 million with the renovations. And as if that wasn't enough, he also has a place to call his own in New York City on Manhattan's 5th Avenue. Actually, he did not buy just 1, but 3 apartments including the penthouse of a luxury building, adding up to over 16,000 square feet of floor space. The very modern property features top-of-the-line finishings, making up a clean-looking and sophisticated space, in total having an impressive 12 spacious bedrooms and 8 very well planned-out luxury bathrooms. The kitchen has a neutral color palette, highlighting the beautiful marble island with stools for quick meals. Everything is very tasteful and refined, being up to the house of a billionaire. The solid oak flooring brings the feeling of warmth to the environment, providing much comfort to its residents. Throughout the property there are plenty of windows that allow for natural lighting and let the urban landscaping into the house. Without a doubt, the highlight of the residence is the penthouse area, where he can gather with much luxury with his friends and family, enjoy the deck with pool, and of course, the beautiful and panoramic view of New York City. And to acquire this wealthy estate, Jeff Bezos had to cash out $80 million, an immeasurable value for most people. And because he owns more expensive properties, Jeff Bezos wins this round. Point for him. Being two of the richest and most powerful men in the world, it's easy to imagine that money isn't a problem for them. But who possesses the greater fortune? Bill Gates, for example, has managed to create an impressive empire. He founded Microsoft, one of the most valuable companies in the world, with a market value of approximately $2,500 billion. An amount so large that it is greater than the GDP of several countries and even major economies such as Spain, Australia, South Korea, Russia, Canada, Brazil, and Italy. This shows how powerful and relevant Bill Gates is in the world, as he managed to found a company with greater financial potential than great powers of the world. But that doesn't mean that's his personal wealth. That's because he only owns 1.3% of the company's shares, which represents something around $30 billion, just a fraction of his entire net worth. These days, most of his money is allocated in companies other than the one he founded. And according to Forbes magazine, currently his assets are estimated at over $100 billion, an amount that still manages to be greater than the GDP of some smaller countries like Ecuador, Angola, and Cuba, besides placing him in the 5th position for the richest person on the planet. Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, owns large businesses, including one of the most valuable companies on the planet. To get an idea of the magnitude of the company, Amazon's headquarters, for example, was built based on sustainability, placing 3 sphere-shaped glass domes in the middle of Seattle that house 40,000 plants of 400 different species brought in from more than 30 countries. The site provides employees of the largest online retailer with a work culture aimed at well-being and creativity, swapping conventional rooms and offices for nests in a relaxed environment with plenty of contact with nature. The entire headquarters occupies 3 blocks, while the spheres occupy 100,000 square feet, the equivalent of 24 basketball courts. The price to build a biodiversity-filled greenhouse in the middle of Greater Seattle? Approximately $4 billion. And he also owns other companies, such as Blue Origin Company, which aims to promote space tourist trips not only for astronauts, but also for common citizens, besides taking the industrial processes that cause so much environmental impact on Earth out of our planet. Even in 2021, he made the first civilian pilotless flight into space in all of human history, alongside his brother Mark Bezos. And when it comes to the market value of his company, it's hard to beat Bezos in that regard, as Amazon is valued at around $2 trillion. And despite having founded a company with such an impressive market value, his fortune is only a percentage of that amount, estimated at over $250 billion. In other words, Jeff Bezos easily wins this round. At the end of this fight, we have 1 point for Bill Gates against 5 points for Jeff Bezos, making him the winner of this battle. But if you believe that there are still other arguments to defend one of the two, write your best justification below. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel, deals to satisfy your curiosity.